Okay, let's dive right in.
Yeah.
So picture this, right? Billions, I mean billions with a B, of
Wow.
gameplay sessions
Wow.
every single month. We're talking about Roblox, of course, a platform that's been around for, what, nearly 2 decades now?
Almost, yeah. And it's been kind of quietly revolutionizing things for a whole generation.
It really has. It's easy to just, dismiss it as just a kid's playground.
Yeah.
But when you actually look at the numbers, the sheer volume and the creativity, well, its impact is kind of remarkable, isn't it?
Absolutely. The scale is just enormous.
Exactly. And that's precisely what we're getting into today. Forget trying to wade through all the games on there.
Right.
We've got this really fascinating report that's basically done the hard work. It's identified 5 specific games, not just popular games, but ones that, well, fundamentally changed Roblox itself.
Yeah, shaped the whole platform.
Think of this as your express guide to understanding what really matters on Roblox. The key moments, the big shifts.
And the way they picked these 5 is pretty smart. It wasn't just about, which game was big for a month.
No.
They looked at real engagement over time. Things like peak concurrent users, so the most people playing at once.
Okay, CCU?
Right, CCU. And also daily active users, DAU, how many people are playing every day. But also, cultural impact. Did it innovate? Did it last?
So real staying power, not just flashes in the pan.
Exactly. These are the games that really left a mark.
Okay, so the big 5 we're covering are Adopt Me, Jailbreak, Meep City, Brookhaven RP, and Blocks Fruits.
That's the list. Each one tells a different part of the Roblox story.
All right, let's get into it then. First
Yeah.
up, Adopt Me. Came out in 2017 from Dreamcraft. This one seemed to really open Roblox up to new people.
It really did. What's so interesting about Adopt Me is how it tapped into something really fundamental, caring for things, collecting things.
Oh, yeah.
It's basically this big role-playing world focused on adopting pets, raising them, and maybe the biggest part, trading them.
And the numbers are just wild. Peak CCU, 1.6 million. That's 1.6 million people playing at the exact same time.
Insane.
And get this, over 45 billion total visits. But this bit blows my mind. Over 500,000 in-game trades every day.
It's a huge player-driven economy, just massive.
Totally.
And a really clever bit, a key innovation, was how transparent they made the pet rarity system.
Right, the common to legendary thing.
Exactly. Everyone knew where their pet stood, that clear sort of hierarchy. That's what really fueled the trading. People knew what was valuable.
It's like virtual Beanie Babies, but with clear rules.
Kind of, yeah. And it created this whole secondary market.
The report also talks about their live events. That sounds
Oh,
important.
it's definitely their live event engine. When they launched something special, like a limited time pet egg,
Yeah.
their player numbers would just explode. We're
Yeah.
talking spikes of 200, even 300%.
Wow. So it wasn't just the core loop. It was these constant gotta-be-there-now moments.
Precisely. Creating that scarcity, that novelty, it worked incredibly well. And it ties into how they made money, too, their monetization.
Okay, how so?
Well, they balanced having lots of free stuff with really appealing paid items, especially those limited time things. And the report mentions a conversion rate of 25% on those special offers.
That's really high for a free-to-play game, isn't it?
Yeah.
Getting 1 in 4 or 5 players to buy something specific.
It's very impressive. It shows the model worked.
So, Adopt Me wasn't just cute pets. It built this whole thriving ecosystem.
Yeah.
And its legacy seems to be bringing in younger kids, families,
Definitely broaden the audience.
and influencing other big RP games like Royal High, Fashion Famous. And it really proved the power of those regular live events.
Absolutely. It set a kind of blueprint for keeping a huge, diverse audience engaged long term.
Okay, cool. Let's switch gears. Same year, 2017, but a totally different vibe. Jailbreak.
Ah, yes. Jailbreak by Badumo, cops and robbers, but on a whole new level for Roblox at the time.
Yeah, open world, driving, shooting, heists. It felt way more, I don't know, gamer, more complex.
It did. And the numbers back that up. Peak CCU around 900,000, over 25 billion visits. And the average playtime, 20, 30 minutes, suggests people were really settling in for a session.
Definitely more involved.
Yeah.
What did the report say was Jailbreak's big innovation?
Well, a couple things, but the dynamic heist system was huge.
Dynamic how?
It wasn't just hitting the same bank vault over and over. You had the bank, the train, the jewelry store, and they used procedurally triggered events.
Meaning, random stuff happens.
Kind of, yeah. Things wouldn't always play out the same way, and the loot you got could be randomized too. It kept it exciting, unpredictable.
Okay, That makes sense. Keeps you coming back.
For sure. And the other big thing was the dual role gameplay. You could be a cop or a criminal.
Right, and switch between them.
Seamlessly, yeah. And each side had its own way to progress, its own goals. It was almost like two games in one package.
And they updated it all the time, didn't they? The report mentions bi-weekly content drops.
Insane frequency. Every 2 weeks, boom, something new. A new car, a new weapon, a tweaked heist.
That must have kept the buzz going constantly.
Absolutely. And thinking about its impact, Jailbreak really showed what user-generated content on Roblox could be. It felt almost like a AAA title in terms of polish and scope.
It definitely raised the bar. People started expecting more.
It did, and that update frequency, it set a new standard. Influenced games like Mad City, its sequel.
Right.
Plus, Jailbreak was massive for content creators, YouTubers, streamers. It really helped put Roblox on the map on those external platforms.
So it proved Roblox could host these deeper, action-packed experiences. Yeah. Okay, interesting. Let's rewind slightly then to 2016, Meep City.
Meep City by Alex Neutron. This one feels like a cornerstone of the social side of Roblox.
Yeah, it was less about intense gameplay, more about hanging out, customizing your house, playing mini games, dressing up your avatar.
Exactly, a social hub. And the numbers are still huge, 400K peak CCU, 15 billion visits. But this stat is amazing, over 10 million player homes created.
10 million. That shows real investment from players, doesn't it? Building their own space.
Totally. That customizable housing, the real estate feature, was a huge deal back then. One of the first big examples of virtual property ownership on the platform.
Gave people a real stake in the world.
It did. And you had all those simple drop-in mini-games, fishing, racing, always something easy to do with others.
Low-pressure fun.
Yeah. But what really defined Meep City, I think, were the community events. People hosted virtual weddings, parties, even concerts.
Seriously, like player-organized weddings.
Yeah, it was mirroring real-life social stuff in this digital space.
Yeah.
It became a place to genuinely connect.
It sounds like a precursor to the whole metaverse idea almost.
In many ways, yes. The report points out it was the first Roblox game ever to hit 1 billion visits.
Whoa.
Which really cemented social hangouts as a major genre. People wanted these spaces just to be together online.
So it wasn't just about quests or competition, it was about community.
Fundamentally, it was a template for those kinds of persistent social worlds. And one other thing the report mentions, cross-promotional events. Meep City partnered with outside brands.
Ah, okay. Bringing real-world stuff into the game.
Exactly. Showed another way Roblox could grow and engage players, linking the virtual and real.
Fascinating. So Meep City really laid the groundwork for the social dimension.
Yeah.
Okay, let's jump forward again. 2020. Pandemic era, Brookhaven RP. This one just appeared and took over, right?
Brookhaven's rise was meteoric. Yeah, Wolfpack and Aiden Lee Wolf. It's interesting because it's actually quite simple visually. A suburban town roleplay, but polished.
Simple but effective, clearly. Peak CCU 1.2 million, that's huge. Over 30 billion visits. Yeah. And this is wild. The report says over $800,000 a month just from cosmetics.
That's the core innovation, really. Its monetization is purely cosmetic.
No gameplay advantages at all.
None. Zero pay to win. All the money comes from players wanting avatar skins, cool cars, different house styles. It's about self-expression, not power.
Which makes it feel much fairer, I guess. Everyone's on a level playing field gameplay-wise.
Exactly. And that ties into its other strength. It's super accessible. The UI, the controls. It's incredibly easy for anyone to just jump in and start role-playing. Very low friction.
Okay, I see. Easy to join, easy to play, easy to socialize.
And that accessibility was massive during 2020. The report highlights its usage doubled between March and June that year.
Right in the thick of lockdowns.
Yeah. It became this essential virtual social space, a digital neighborhood where people could hang out when they couldn't in real life.
That makes total sense.
Yeah.
A simple, welcoming place to escape to.
Yeah.
So it's legacy.
Yeah.
It seems to be about bringing back roleplay, but making it really inclusive.
Definitely sparked a resurgence in accessible RP, and it powerfully demonstrated that cosmetic-only revenue can be incredibly successful. You don't need pay to win.
And you see all these player-driven scenarios now, right? People pretending to be paramedics or running a school within Brookhaven.
Totally. The simple framework empowered players to create their own narratives, their own fun.
All right, one more. Blocks Fruits, 2019. This feels like a swing back towards more traditional gaming tropes.
Yeah, gamer roboting. Very much an action-adventure RPG, heavily inspired by anime, especially like One Piece.
With the fruit powers, yeah. It
Yeah.
felt like Roblox growing up again, tackling more complex genres.
It did, and again, strong numbers, 800K peak CCU, 20 billion plus visits. And the report mentions over 1 million quests completed daily. That shows deep engagement.
1 million quests a day. People are really grinding in that game.
They are. And a big draw was definitely the fruit powers. Over 30 different fruits, the report says, each giving totally different abilities.
So lots of player choice, different ways to fight, strategy.
Absolutely. It encouraged experimenting, finding the fruit that matched your style.
And it had proper RPG stuff too, like quests and bosses.
Yeah, a full quest system, bosses that needed strategy, sailing between islands. It mirrored that traditional RPG progression loop quite effectively. And, like Adopt Me, they used timed events.
The Fruit Festival?
Exactly. Dropping rare fruits for a limited time caused huge server surges, created that fear of missing out.
Another example of events driving engagement. Okay, so Blox Fruits prove Roblox could handle complex RPGs, the whole anime aesthetic.
Definitely. And it clearly influenced other anime-style games that came later, like Anime Fighting Simulator, Project Slayers. It confirmed Roblox as a platform for deep combat-heavy experiences, too.
So it really broadened the type of hardcore game you could find.
It really showcased the platform's versatility and the developers' creativity.
Okay, so we've looked at these 5 giants. If we zoom out, what are the big overarching themes? What connects them, according to the report?
Well, one thing that jumps out across several of them is that really strong link between live events, regular updates, and spikes in players.
Right. Keep it fresh, keep them coming back.
Seems to be a core principle. Also, the success of cosmetic-driven monetization, especially in Adopt Me and Brookhaven, is a huge insight. It fosters long-term retention without frustrating players.
Yeah, that seems key. Happy players stick around, and some will happily pay to look cool.
Exactly. And maybe the broad appeal of hybrid genres, too. Adopt Me, mixing pet sim with social RP, Jailbreak, mixing action with open world, Blox Fruits, mixing RPG with action.
So blending different types of gameplay seems to attract more people?
It seems to hit multiple interest points at once, yeah. Caters to a wider audience.
Okay, so if someone listening wants the quick takeaway, the key lessons about Roblox's evolution from these 5, what would they be?
Well, number 1, probably the power of player-driven economies, like we saw in Adopt Me.
Right, letting players create value themselves.
Huge engagement driver. Number 2, I'd say the absolute necessity of consistent updates and events. Jailbreak, Blox Fruits, Adopt Me, all showed that.
Keep the content flowing. Got it.
And number 3, maybe the value of inclusive, non-pay-to-win monetization. Brookhaven is the poster child for that. Build goodwill, focus on cosmetics.
Okay. Player economy, consistent updates, fair monetization. Seems like a solid foundation.
It covers a lot of ground based on these successes. But, it does make you think.
Yeah.
These 5 were foundational, right? They push boundaries. But Roblox keeps evolving. The tools get better. The creators get more ambitious.
So what's next?
Exactly. That's the final provocative thought, isn't it? While these 5 are crucial to understand, what might the next truly transformative Roblox experience look like? What new ground will it break? Will it build on these ideas or go somewhere totally unexpected?
That's a great question to leave people mulling over. What will be the next Adopt Me or Jailbreak, and why?
Yeah. Hopefully this deep dive gives you, the listener, a really good shortcut to understanding some of the biggest forces that have shaped Roblox so far.
And maybe you're thinking now about how some of these ideas, player economies, live events, accessible design, mixing genres, might actually apply or just be interesting in whatever you do, even if you don't play Roblox yourself.
Definitely. Because honestly, the patterns you see in these virtual worlds, how people engage, form communities, value digital items, they often reflect much broader trends online.
Food for thought. Well, thanks for joining us for this deep dive.